The Mad Dog's House of Pain, the only nationally licensed pro wrestling school in the state of Alabama. Mad Dog Dan Sawyer, trained by the Junkyard Dog, will be your trainer. You want to be a professional wrestling superstar? Learn from GCW's own Mad Dog's House of Pain. With over 22 years experience, learn from the Mad Dog's House of Pain. 205-567-6482. Start your career today. Call 205-567-6482.
Welcome in, live from a multiple location station on this Tuesday night, 24th day of January. From Global Championship Wrestling, welcome to GCW Radio live on this Tuesday night. Fast Eddie Layne, live from Studio 1B. Welcoming in, live from the House of Pain, the one, the only, the Mad Dog himself, Dan Sawyer. Daniel, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. Just getting ready for this Saturday night, Regeneration 2017. And, talk on the street everywhere I go, at the gym, the grocery store. Everybody wants to know. We're going to have a new GCW Heavyweight Champion, and it's going to be this Saturday night. And, I'm excited. I know that Dylan Cook, the Dream Chaser, is excited. I know Micah Taylor, former GCW champion, is excited. I know Francisco Chiazzo, as we heard last week, is excited. He said it's going to be a three-peat for him, and this is going to be the third time he's been a champion. But the man who's joining us tonight, around 8:15, the Dream Killer himself, Eric Wayne, third-generation superstar, will be with us. He says he's got something to tell us about why he wasn't with us last week, something about the operator being a dingbat or something. I don't know. But we'll hear from the former GCW champion in just a few, like 13 minutes. So that'll always be fun. He's always wound up. Not quite as tight as Francisco Chiazzo, his tag team partner in the Bowser Brothers. They just won those AIWF tag team titles recently, and
nice.
It's kind of like he thinks we're trying to drive a wedge between those two guys and their tag team. I was like, we're just stating facts that you're in a match together, right?
Right. I mean, and you've been in situations where you have had a tag team partner and been one half of a tag team championship combination, and also have been in pursuit of a singles title. Now, right. I do have to ask you, I throw the ball into your court. How much does that actually cause friction between two solid partners?
Well, someone's always going to get their butt hurt in this business, and just like in politics.
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen any wrestlers conduct a march, even though Francisco just said something about he's going to do some kind of march. I haven't had a chance to read it. He tagged me in it, so, stop being so sensitive. Somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose. In this case, three men will lose. But we got four top athletes. Three of the four have been champion before. And Dylan Cook, that's the thing. I think these guys are overlooking him. And I know what the kid's made of. Sure, he's never had gold in GCW. But he's got a main event spot. That's a lot on your shoulders. But I think he's going to rise to the occasion. I'm not saying he's going to win. I'm not saying he's going to lose. But he has earned the right to be in this match.
Oh, definitely. I mean, look at the person that Dylan Cook defeated to move on to this Final Four in P-Dog Mike Posey.
Exactly.
This is an individual who is known as a pure veteran in the industry, one of the most flexible, one of the most agile, and I will bring back a word a lot of people have not thought about for a while, in the word wily. Because being a former official, Mike Posey knows how, P-Dog Mike Posey knows how to bend and or stretch, fold, spindle, mutilate, or break that rule book in half. And Dylan's had his battles with P-Dog. And to come out on top in this one, some people looked at Dylan Cook as the underdog in the match against Posey back in December. And Posey managed to get the 1-2-3. And lo and behold, even though he's facing individuals that have held that title before, you have to look at Dylan Cook as a truly viable threat if you're inside that ring on Saturday night, January the 28th in Pell City for Regeneration 2017. Because if you overlook somebody like Dylan Cook, you are going to have a very rude awakening in more ways than one. Believe it or not. Truth?
Yeah. I mean, don't underestimate one of the youngest, fastest guys in the business. And I'm not just saying that because I broke him into the business a few years ago, and he's a graduate of the Mad Dog's House of Pain Wrestling School. I'm just saying he was a state wrestling champion for Leeds High School. Now he helps coach. He's staying busy even when he's not in the ring. And I mean, training, conditioning, you know, he's stepping up for this. And this is one of those, you got to bring your A+ game, not just your A game, but your A+ game to try to participate in a match like this.
And then, I mean, I know we kind of encapsulated the match a little bit last week. But when you look at the situation that's taking place, especially with the former champion, and that would be the Dream Killer, Eric Wayne, when things transpired the way they did, and he managed to get himself back into this match, and I know we're going to have him on in a few minutes, and a lot of the things that can be said would be better said coming straight from his mouth. But how much does Eric Wayne, in your opinion, have to prove going into this fatal four-way match this Saturday night?
Well, I mean, to hear him tell it, he thinks he should have never been stripped of the title because he was honoring other bookings that he had before winning the title. But you know as well as I do, whether you go back to NWA rules, National Wrestling Alliance, whether you go to GCW rules, WWE rules, you don't defend your title for 30 to 45 days, whether it be injury or whatever. You know, it's not showing up for work for 30 or 45 days.
Right.
I mean, if you do that at the shoot job, you're probably going to have someone else replace you. And I know people think it's different with wrestling, but, you know, when you get that title, a lot of responsibility comes with it.
Always.
And younger guys think it's all about, oh, I got to get that belt. I got to get that belt. So it's an albatross because, you know, you had to step up the game, but you got to keep it up. You can't just sit back on your laurels, and you're only as good as your last match. And I think either Harley Race or Dusty said that. And, you know, both those guys are well respected, very much by myself. But, you know, former Commissioner Bullet Bob Armstrong says, you know, you got to get in there and fight whether you got that belt or not. And if you ever want to have a chance to win that belt, you better fight as hard as you can. And I think these four men are some of the best of the best. And what's going on in independent wrestling today, not just in GCW, but everybody that is involved in this match is currently wrestling a lot of places. You know, Micah Taylor is the best of the best. AWA works for All Pro Championship in Georgia with Robert Gibson's promotion, and wrestles in Florida, does the mocap. You know, Francisco, same sort of thing. He works Southern Fried. He works Peach State, not Peach State, excuse me, Southern Fried, UIW, as well as many of us other ones, but AIWF. I mean, these guys don't just wrestle once a month, and they don't live 5 minutes from the Pearl City Civic Center.
Oh, no, they don't.
You know, Eric Wayne and Francisco both live in Tennessee now, and they make the haul. Micah Taylor, other side of Atlanta, making the haul. You know, sometimes he's flying straight in from Los Angeles.
Right.
The last show, I mean, he came straight from the airport and was making the new game that he hadn't even been talked about yet. But, you know, and Dylan, I mean, he stays busy up in Hansel. Can't remember the name of the promotion. No disrespect there. I just had a total moment there. Southeastern Championship, Shane Baker's place.
Honestly, I don't know. They've never gotten in touch.
Yeah, well, I guess that's why we don't know. But I think that's the name, like Southeastern Pro or something. But, you know, the young man has been busy. He went UIW and over in Temple last year and the year before. I mean, we've been at Pro South. We've wrestled a lot of different places, and you really, you know, Dylan is the only guy that really lives close to Pell City. It's funny, people think I live there. I'm like, no, I'm like an hour and 10 minutes from there. You know? And that's with good traffic. And you know, there are no locals. Dylan lives in Leeds, and he's the only guy that really lives close. And you know, I think that's, you know, 40. It used to be called 20 milers. We're exposing some terms that guys that don't even live 20 miles from the building. But I changed it one night with Eric Wayne. Actually, was in Oklahoma, Mississippi, wrestling on the same card, and we ended up tag teaming. We changed it to 40 milers, guys that only wrestle 40 miles from the house. But they think they're great because they get a pop when they come out because Mom, Pop, Aunt Lucy, and you know, Cousin Fred and whoever is out in the crowd, and that's great. But they have to come back every show. It's just, you know, you can't just depend on that. I mean, we got a solid, firm crowd that's going to be there regardless, you know. And in the last 2 years, we've seen MVP come in, Big Papa Pump, Scott Steiner, Luke Gallows. Before, I mean, he was the IWGP Tag Team Champion the last time he was in for us, and was at Pell City. He was on the original TV show 2 years ago, and he was on the opening bit. You know,
the main title,
So many talents come through GCW over the years, from Jerry the King Lawler, Dusty Rhodes, Terry Funk, Raven, you name it.
The Uso brothers,
Gary Martel. I mean, we've had quite the gambit of guys come through. But
you're forgetting a couple. Because remember, the Uso brothers, formerly known as the Samoan Soldiers, or Soldiers, go from there. The referee to the Stars, Rudy Charles, now up in WWE. Of course, we've had, you know, the Hall of Famers all the way across the board in more ways than one at Global Championship Wrestling. You know, the phrase was coined by you quite a few moons ago, the best of wrestling's past, present, and future. Because you never know. I mean, yes, there is the vanguard of GCW. There is a tremendous core in Global. But there are also stars that come in from other areas and that have made their home more or less from the first time they walk in the doors. Because I'm going to say this before, and I know that I'm probably going to be interrupted about halfway through this. I've come to expect that. Not from you, but from somebody else. Hi, Eric. What's up? But from there, the people... I'm going to hold off on my comments since I baited him. I'm going to play fair. Ladies and gentlemen.
Go ahead.
No, I'll wait. We are being joined by a very special guest at this time. He is the former GCW Heavyweight Champion, the one-of-a-kind.
Make sure you say that. The former undefeated Heavyweight Champion.
The one-of-a-kind, second to none, third-generation professional wrestling superstar, the Dream Killer Eric Wayne, joining us right now. Mr. Wayne, welcome.
Thank y'all for having me. I'm glad y'all were able to get me through this week. I got blocked last week by whoever screened your calls, and I couldn't make it to call. So it wasn't for lack of effort. It was for whoever screened your calls and wouldn't let me through.
Bubba, you're fired. Okay. Wait. Mad Dog, didn't you let Peanut screen the calls last week?
No.
Oh, okay.
I did not.
That explains a lot. I think that's about the average intelligence rate in Alabama is peanut, so that explains a lot.
Mr. Wayne, first off, thank you for taking the time to being able to come on and join us this week. We're sorry about the call screener last week. That person is now being remanded to Siberia. Flew him over on Trump Force One. But from that vantage point, I would like to go ahead and bring this one into play. We talked about this a couple of minutes ago before you came in. Of course, Mr. Wayne is 1/4 of the main event this coming Saturday night in Pell City for Regeneration 2017. A fatal four-way to fill the vacant GCW Heavyweight Championship. I have to ask this one right off the bat. With everything that's come into play, if you are the one who has your hand raised in victory this Saturday night, would a word that you would use be vindication?
Yeah, that's one word you could use. I find it is kind of funny that you say if I win, because recently I actually got in a Facebook argument with one of your loyal fans that loves Spiral. And he's not able to be there, so we're not going to talk a lot about him, but they loved him and defended him to no end. That's somebody that I beat not only on my debut, but for the title. So put me in there with 3 other guys doesn't really make much of a difference. Vindication and more justification that I'm the best wrestler GCW's had come through be the words I would use.
Mad Dog, come on in.
I got to hand it to him. I mean, the guy is a talent, and like I said before he came on the air, last year we were in a tag team match, and the Dream Killer himself had to take on a former wrestler from, I guess he was from Big Don Brody, was from Oklahoma, Mississippi. What is he, about 6'4", about 340? It used to be quite...
at least that much. Depends if he's been to the buffet or not that day.
All I know is we were paired together, and that goofy Derek King was his partner. And, you know, hey, you know, I'm just saying, the two of us together being put together is dangerous. It is kerosene or gasoline in a match. I don't know. But, you know, that promoter thought he was going to do something to us and make us work as a team. And we darn near crippled old Big Don Brody. I don't even know if he's had a match since. You know, he's supposedly coming out of retirement and going to hand 2 young bucks, which that made me feel nice. I mean, you are a young guy. Now, I mean, you've been in the business a long time, but you are still young. And, you know, he said he's going to do something to us. And I remember looking over there at you, and I got him in a ankle pick and kept him down on the mat, and we kind of worked him over. But we're talking about history there. I'm just saying, hey, Eric Wayne's a dangerous man. I've wrestled every guy in this match, and the one I've wrestled the least would be Dylan Cook. But the 3, Micah Taylor, Francisco Chiazzo, and Mr. Eric Wayne, are 3 guys, former GCW champions, and it's going to be a barn burner, as my granddad used to say. I mean, all kinds of stuff's gonna could happen, will happen, shall happen. I'm gonna sit back and watch the monitor and watch it be box office.
Mr. Wayne?
I thought you had something for that. I was waiting to see what your comments were. I actually have a question since I'm being asked questions. Who did Dylan Cook pay to get into this match with someone like myself, Frankie, and Micah Taylor?
I don't know.
Was it you, Eddie? Did he pay you to get into the match? Is that how this happened?
No, actually, Mr. Cook was in a first-round qualifying matchup against P-Dog Mike Posey, a person you may know very well, and in a very hard-fought matchup, Mr. Cook defeated Mr. Posey in that match to qualify to go on to the Final Four.
Was Posey intoxicated or under the influence for Dylan to be able to win that match?
I've never seen Mr. Posey imbibe of any kind.
Okay. And it just seems awful lucky. It seems like Dylan Cook probably paid somebody to get into a match like this because he wants to make a name for himself, whether it's me or one of the other 2 guys in the match. So it just seemed really odd that I would be forced to regain the title I've never lost and also have to do it against someone that shouldn't even be in the match with someone of caliber, myself alone, the other 2 guys that try to come close to me. So it just seemed really odd to me, that's all. So I figured I would ask that question since you had questions for me. Do you have any other questions for me, sir?
No, as time goes on, I'm sure we're going to have quite a few if you've got a couple of minutes to play with.
Of course I do. Of course. I always have time whenever you let me through to call in.
Now wait a minute. You've been on this network on a number of occasions, and you've had one problem. Hold on now. But Dog, anything you want to throw to?
I know, it just seems like a bad way to welcome me back to the company by hanging up on me last week when I called in. So you have to forgive me if I'm coming off like like I'm in a bad mood because it didn't really settle too well with him when I was asked to call in and then hung up on by your phone call operator.
Mad Dog, got a question for Mr. Wayne?
I kind of do. I know you're going to think I'm trying to drive a wedge between you and one half your tag team, the Bowser Brothers, but I know it's always business when you step into the ring. But you think it's going to bother Frankie if you're the one that gets your hand raised at the end of this match?
The thing with Frankie and I is we see eye to eye when it comes to wrestling. We're not going to get mad at each other because one of us wins the title and the other one loses, because it doesn't mean that we're going to lose to one another. We're already the AIWF Tag Team Champions. We won that match, a three-way match with two other teams, by the way, in less than 4 minutes. So if you think that we're worried about us having problems over this match, that shouldn't even be a thought. And the fact that you would even consider bringing that up to try and drive a wedge between us is yet another reason why I kind of didn't want to call in, because now you're really starting to piss me off when you don't want to you hang up on me last week, and then you want to try and throw Frankie under the bus, saying that he's going to be mad at me, or that we're going to be mad at each other if someone wins this match. So, no, it's not going to be an issue at all.
Mr. Wayne, allow me, if I may, because we are three competitive individuals. We all understand what it takes to get to the top, stay at the top in our own various ways. There is always, even with partners, I've seen this on more than one occasion and have experienced it myself, a friendly rivalry, so to speak. And knowing the fact that you are a tag team champion alongside of Francisco, does there not exist that friendly rivalry where, even though it's good-natured ribbing, there is a little one-upsmanship every once in a while? Does that not exist?
It exists, but it doesn't exist to the levels that you and Dan are trying to make it sound like it exists. I already told you that we're AIWF tag team champions. So we're not going to let winning another title make the other one upset. In fact, once I win, Frankie can go out and buy me a beer because he doesn't drink. He'll be more than happy to buy me a beer to help celebrate my victory on Saturday.
Okay.
Are you trying to put a race between us two, Eddie? Dan already started this. Are you trying to perpetuate it now?
No, I'm just looking to clarify the situation, because I know how it may have come across, but I wanted to clarify all the way across the board that it was not.
It sounds more like you're just trying to egg it on and create a problem where there's not one.
No, not a problem in the least. However, I would like to ask this question. Knowing how you stated just a few minutes ago, Mr. Wayne, how you felt about Dylan Cook being in this match, out of the other two competitors, who would you most think could be the strongest competition for you?
That's a pretty good question. I've never faced Micah Taylor, so out of the three that are in the match, I would have to say Micah, just because I know he's a former Marine, but I forget where I was a few weeks ago now, but I had to kick a Marine out of the locker room that wasn't a wrestler. So him being a Marine might mean something to some people, but I'm more concerned with the fact that I've never wrestled him in, over 10 years. So out of the three, I'll be more concerned with Micah than anybody else.
Mad Dog?
I agree. Micah has been champion the most out of all you guys. And, I've wrestled him the most out of everybody in the match. And he's a well-rounded individual in the ring, but so are all of you guys. I mean, Dylan is lacking the experience level, but for the time he's been in the business, he's done well for himself. But he's just got to make sure he doesn't have like an adrenaline dump or something and come in there and go too wild, because what happens sometimes when you got a packed house and it's the first time you ever wrestled for a belt, it's hard to relax and control your emotions and focus on your job. It's bad enough wrestling one man, much less three others. So the experience level is going to come in for you three guys. That's the thing that Dylan's just got to remain loose and calm and concentrate on what he does. The thing about you, Eric, and Frankie and Micah is you guys can all ground and pound as well as be technical. And you guys have been comfortable, been in the business long enough that it's, y'all know what to do. I mean, and this is not your first time, like you said. I mean, you and Francisco won a match in, 4 minutes versus 3 other teams? I mean, but the thing is, I know you guys can kind of try to work together, but eventually, if it's a first fall, it's one man trying to get that pin. And it's not going to be a tag match. And I know you've held this belt before. I have to throw these questions as one of the workers and a wrestler in the business. I'm asking you what's been coming through on emails all week by the fans of GCW. There was a couple of them. It's like, well, how did he? I had to explain this to a couple individuals because they're like, how did he get in it? He wasn't even in the tournament for the match. No, but he was the former champion and he never lost the belt. So it only makes sense. And I know things that happen in wrestling don't always, but he would be the man with Spiral being injured, you would be the guy that gets that first stab at it, whether you were in a tournament.
And honestly, I hate to cut you off, Dan, but me being put in the match really isn't justification enough. The belt should be given back to me because I was stripped of the title for having to travel the country and do my job and wrestle other places. I was never beaten for that belt. Make sure you tell everybody that. Don't just mention that I was a champion. I'm the only undefeated wrestler in GCW that has ever come in on their debut and beaten the champion and remained undefeated this entire time. And now to retain my belt, I'm having to wrestle against 3 other men. That's how I look at this. I'm having to defend my title against 3 other men, one that I've never lost that was taken from me. That's not fair. Well, I should probably start a rally and get more people to march for me because this is not fair and this is not justified and my rights are being taken away from me because as a champion I shouldn't have to fight for my title again.
If everybody manages to get all these marches started, they're talking about we are going to be the most fit and trim country in God's creation. Thank you very much. Everybody go march. Come on.
I mean, Donald Trump did what Michelle Obama couldn't do and got a bunch of fat women off their couch to walk in the streets. So he's obviously doing something right.
That has been the most run-amok meme I have seen in the last 48 hours. Thank you. Now,
well, I mean, he's pointing out obvious stuff, and Commissioner Jack Lord's not here to answer these questions.
Of course it's Jack Lord. Of course Jack Lord decides to take the belt off of me. He's never liked my family, so of course he's going to do something like this to try and poke and prod at me and put me in even worse mood. Why is Jack Lord the commissioner? Because I'm the champion, so you want to mess with the champion. That doesn't really seem smart on Jack's part or the company's part.
Well, we know all the board of directors are probably in bed at this time at 8:30. I'll tell you what, if these guys...
Well, because they're all Jack Lord's age, and they go to bed at 6 in the afternoon when the sun's still up.
Jack keeps late hours, I know that. But, maybe these are questions we need to pose to him Saturday. I'm sure that he'll be glad to answer them, but we know what's going to happen. We know what the main event is. And may the best man win. And we'll see how that all pans out this Saturday night in Pell City, Alabama. And there's not a better ticket going on, a wrestling show within 500 miles this Saturday night. That we have a lot of people from West Georgia that come over. We have some people that travel from Huntsville. And, heck, Frankie's still got people that come to watch him from Florida, from around Pensacola and the Panama City area that come down, just to see him. I mean, even though he's not always a fan favorite, there are people out there that love to hate the king of Florida, the king of pro wrestling, half of Bonnie and Clyde, and same thing for you. A lot of respect for your family, and I'm excited about this match. I'm going to sit back and enjoy. Like I said, I'm going to watch that monitor, and may the best man win. I mean, I'm excited. It's a good card. It's not just because I'm excited to be a part of it. I'm excited because the match itself. And, you know, I'm telling you.
You can admit it, Dan. You can admit it. You're excited to see me come back. You're excited to see me in GCW again. I know that's why you're excited. Jack Lord might not be excited because he did this to me. But I know that's why you're excited. You can go ahead and tell everybody. It's okay. I know that I'm your favorite wrestler.
Well, you know, I haven't got my dream killer shirt yet, but, you know, there's always a chance. You know, that's what I was hoping for. Maybe if I did enough politicking here, I might could get one of those shirts. You never did get it in black, so, you know, that's my favorite.
I've got them in dark blue, and I'm charging everyone else double. I'll charge you half price.
Okay, half price.
Just because you're a tag team partner of mine.
Yeah, well, don't get
as long as you agree that we can charge Peanut and several other fans double the admission price, because if they're only paying $10, that's not worth it to see me. They should pay at least twice that much for a ticket.
Well, you'll have to take that up with them, because they have been faithful for many, many years there at Pell City. This 13th year coming up right now, so there are a lot of fans.
But this is my return to GCW. It's worth twice the price of admission. $10 won't cover it. It should be twice that much.
Well, we can't change the ticket price. It's been advertised. I'm not saying you're not.
After I retain my title and beat 3 other men on Saturday, we're going to raise the ticket price because it's worth it to see someone like Eric Layne, and that's what they need to understand.
Well,
maybe then they'll understand what kind of wrestler they're dealing with. Because I listened to all the people you named before, and they're great. They're great, but none of them were ever undefeated GCW champions. They defeated the champion in their debut. I don't know if I told you that or not, but when I debuted, I defeated the GCW champion and remained undefeated the entire time I've been there. The only undefeated wrestler in GCW.
Well, what you're stating fact, and you are the one that injured Spiral with this original injury on his ankle. I mean, there's something to be said for that. I mean, I don't think you ever...
I thought about starting a GoFundMe for him, but I don't think we're going to do that. I don't think we're going to start a GoFundMe for Spiral's ankle. We're not going to do that yet.
No.
If he can beat me, then we'll think about starting a GoFundMe for him. Wow. It's all the rage now in the pro wrestling business to start a GoFundMe. So we're going to do that for him if he wants to come back and wrestle Eric Layne.
Oh, wow. So he's saying, what you're saying is if you win, you will start a GoFundMe for Spiral and his ankle. But if you win, you also want the ticket price to increase, and you want to renegotiate your price with Jack Lord and the board of directors for your guarantee. Is that what we're saying?
I mean, y'all are putting me through all of this, and I'm the only undefeated wrestler in GCW to win the title on their debut and never lose the title, but still have to wrestle to become the champion again. So I think it's only fair. I can get a bunch of people together. We can start marching right through Pell City if I have to. We'll walk onto the interstates and we'll shut down the whole highway and everything if that's what we have to do. I have enough people in Alabama and surrounding states that love me that will come out and support this.
If you can do that, I'll consider that a birthday present. I dare you.
I don't know. I'm not too big on birthday presents. I know what happens whenever you have cakes around pro wrestlers.
Yeah, that's right. They tried to take your cake. See
what I mean? I don't show any respect for a wrestler of my caliber.
Well, you got to understand, we don't get to see a lot of cake backstage, you know. But
I've seen the people there. They don't need any more cake than what they've had. The diabetes can go through the roof there. Don't have enough insulin for everybody.
Wow. There went the listeners with the diabetes, with the Wilford Brimley.
Thank you very much.
They just cut the radio off.
What was his name? I couldn't think of his name. A couple of our fans look like Wilford Brimley.
Oh, my goodness. Well, Peanut's in good shape because he's like a pace car as he goes around the ring.
Because he never sits down the whole time.
Yeah.
He'd be in good shape, too, if he ran around for 3 hours.
He's fueled on Dr. Pepper. I mean, that's his drink of choice. So,
the only thing that keeps him going. And his hat. The hat keeps his energy in.
Yeah,
he takes his hat, he loses his energy.
Yep. It's like kryptonite to Superman. I saw a video where he took his hat and he was not happy.
He doesn't like that. I was trying to help him. I was going to wash his hat for him. I don't think they have washing machines in Alabama.
We even have dry cleaners.
I have one. And,
you probably have the only one, and you don't anybody use it, because I've noticed that when I come to Alabama. I love it there. I just have to make sure I don't take any sinus medication so it doesn't smell as bad.
Oh, wow. Well, we appreciate you coming in with us, and like I said, this Saturday night, I mean, he's going to call all. He's going to get all the listeners off right now. I'm getting texts left and right.
I believe it.
Of this. They're saying
it's because they're so excited I'm coming back. You can tell everybody what the text message says. Eric Wayne is so right about everything he says, but we cannot wait to see him Saturday. You can read the text messages on here. It's okay. I know that's what they're telling you.
Well, it actually says, how long are you guys going to keep this jerk on the air? Is what this one lady said. But
actually,
she was talking about Eddie, but you can tell them what they're talking about.
I'm not a jerk. I'm a clown. There's a big difference. Just don't tell Francisco that.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
And if you know him that well, you know what I meant.
Oh, yeah. I did. I shared a meme today with Frankie, and I thought of myself and Eric Wayne. This is, did you ever think your friends would still be alive? How in the heck are we all still alive? You ever had a day like that, you know? And that's Joe Pesci. And the clown, did I amuse you? So I knew where you were going. Well, man, it's going to be good to see you this Saturday night. Pell City, Alabama, Regeneration 2017. Pell City, Alabama, 7:30 start time. Tickets are only $10. No one gets confused. Tickets are only $10, unless Eric can renegotiate something if he wins this Saturday night and does something with the ticket price. But you know
Jack Lord did send me a text and say that they're going to switch our payment in GCW to where we only get paid with checks. So I've got to make sure that the money's there. So if you're only going to pay us the check from now on, and the office has changed up their rules, I've got to make sure the money's there. I don't normally take checks, but Paul Orndorff told me it's okay.
Well, I just heard a rumor that not only did that guy that wrote a bad check, his head bounced off a wall. He ran into something. It might have been a left hook. I don't know.
He slipped and fell or something, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
I've heard.
Hey, but I will say this, at least you and a couple of the guys make sure you mashed the medical alert button and said, I've fallen and I can't get up, you know, and you make sure you got some help. So, you know, you're a good brother for that, especially after that day, the way things went down. But that was a Georgia show, and that guy is behind bars right now. But no, you'll still be getting paid cash, sir. I'll make sure of that because, you know, I still have a little bit of pull around here, so we'll make sure you get paid cash. In God we trust. All others pay cash. You know, it's
in Trump we trust. You're right. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, sir, and we'll see you here this Saturday night for that big four-way GCW Heavyweight Championship match with Dylan Cook, Micah Taylor, Francisco Chiazzo, and the Dream Killer himself, Eric Wayne.
May I do the honors?
Thank you. And Eddie, as always, the pleasure has been all yours.
Of course.
I'll see you guys on Saturday.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to a quick break. Hang tight as we say goodnight to the first class, second and none, third generation professional wrestling star, the Dream Killer, Eric Wayne. Mad Dog and I will be right back on GCW Radio on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network and ProWrestlingRadio.net.
The Mad Dog's House of Pain, the only nationally licensed pro wrestling school in the state of Alabama. Mad Dog Dan Sawyer, trained by the Junkyard Dog, will be your trainer. You want to be a professional wrestling superstar? Learn from GCW's own Mad Dog's House of Pain. With over 22 years experience, learn from the Mad Dog's House of Pain. 205-567-6482. Start your career today. Call 205-567-6482.
Howdy, friends. This is the Magic City Motor Mouth, Fast Eddie Layne, with your invitation to join yours truly, along with Mark Mabo Bowman and the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, every Sunday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. Pacific, for Beyond Ringside Live. Wrestling, mixed martial arts, sports talk, and a whole lot more. Keep your eyes open on BeyondRingside.com for all of upcoming show information, and of course, catch us on social media as well. Until then, we'll see you this Sunday, 6:30 Eastern, for Beyond Ringside Live on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
Sunday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern here on BeyondRingside.com. Join us for the Midnight Black Mass. Myself, the Reverend Dan Wilson, brings you the dark gospel of professional wrestling, uncensored, unedited, uncut, and not for the faint of heart. You can find out more about us at youtube.com/pottyhumor or subscribe at Potty Humor on iTunes and Stitcher today.
What's up, everybody? It's Stan Grubb for Corner to Corner Wrestling Radio and the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. Hey, join us every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as the triple threat of wrestling radio goes live every week, giving you their thoughts and opinions on the world of professional wrestling. Myself, Brian, and Rob, all live, all here for you. And as my good friend Rob would say, from corner to corner and pillar to post, we bring it to you every week at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. BeyondRingside.com and ProWrestlingRadio.net.
The To Be Determined show live Wednesday nights, 9 Central Standard Time. Join myself, the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, the Grand Design, Clyde Braddock, and the Magic City Motor Fast Eddie Layne as we take you to the edge of uncensored. Yes, we go uncensored, so make sure you have your earmuffs. Ask your parents, for those of you that are a little young, maybe under 18, but make sure if you have any heart conditions or any mental defects, please listen, because they may take effect right here live every Wednesday night, 9 Central Standard Time. Beyond Ringside Radio Network, BeyondRingside.com.
When planning your next party or special event, insist on the best. Full Range Entertainment is a professional entertainment company providing a full range of services. From professional disc jockeys and MCs to catering and photography, when the details of your special day must be perfect, call us first. Wedding receptions, corporate parties, school functions, birthday celebrations, and more. We also have Birmingham's largest selection of karaoke tracks available. With over 40 years combined experience, Full Range Entertainment can provide you with the talent and professionalism you need and deserve to make your next event one you'll never forget. For more information on the full range of services we offer, call 533-HITS. That's 533-HITS. Or check us out on our website at fullrangeentertainment.com.
And the party continues on a Tuesday night with GCW Radio live from Global Championship Wrestling on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network and ProWrestlingRadio.net, live from the House of Pain. Like to welcome back in Mad Dog Dan Sawyer. What's up, brother?
You know, it's never a dull moment anytime you have the Dream Killer, Eric Wayne, on, and he's a man all about conspiracy.
Oh, God, yes.
I mean, he's blaming the commissioner, saying that Dylan Cook has paid someone to get in the match, which you and I know is a farce and not true at all. As we discussed earlier, he did defeat P-Dog Mike Posey last month. He escaped, he rolled him up with a schoolboy pin, 1, 2, 3. He was as shocked as everyone. I was proud of him, but, he got out of there before Posey had his fit. And what a segue. P-Dog, Mean Mike Posey, whatever you want to call him. He's taking on Charles Anders for that other championship match this Saturday night.
Yep.
For the newly crowned middleweight champion. And we're talking about Charles Anders. And Charles, he shocked the world last month, defeating O'Hagan right there in the middle of the squared circle in Pell City, Alabama. I think he was shocked himself. I mean, I shook hands with him after everything was over with. He was one of the last guys to leave the building. He was carrying that belt around with pride. He's happy. He's got a singles title. And I just got to say, I was like, your face, did it register that you just defeated Mr. O'Hagan? he goes, if I didn't have the belt in my hand right now, it seems like a dream. And I said, well, ambition, hard work, and, determination will get you a long way in this business.
It really will.
You've won your first single title now. You're the GCW middleweight champion, but you're hot on the radar. So understand, you got people going to be knocking at your door, wanting contract signed left and right. And you all know that Mike Posey is a former GCW TV champion, and that was the original name of the belt that became the middleweight championship.
Right.
And Mike Posey wants to get his hands on the gold, and he will be taking on Charles Sanders this Saturday night. And the main event in itself, the full-way GCW Heavyweight Championship, is marquee box office for any show, anywhere, anytime. But to have this also on the card, Mike Posey, Charles Sanders, people are wowed. The women love Charles Sanders. They laugh at him. They call him Zoolander. They call him this. They call him that. Hans or whatever. O'Hagan says that. But, he's a good-looking young man. And women and the young girls, because he's young himself, they love him. But you can't pander too much to those fans and not focus on what's in head. And, the guy's coming off a hot streak. He just defeated O'Hagan. So you just got to keep that intensity and keep your eyes open, because I'm going to tell you straight up, O'Hagan doesn't like not having that belt.
And the person who could signify that fact beyond anything we could say right now, Dan, is on the phone. Ladies and gentlemen, he is Mr. O'Hagan. Welcome in, sir.
Hello.
Do we have a good connection there, Eddie?
That was one of the shortest greetings he's ever put out there.
Welcome, Mr. O'Hagan. Are you under the weather, sir?
No, I'm feeling just fine. Thank you for asking.
I've never heard you be so monotone in all the years of running the roads with you and training with you and fighting with you side to side. And I hear in your voice right now very stoic. Have you had a bad day?
I've had a day. Every day is a day. I'm just here. I understand what's going on. I understand all these people talking, saying what's not true, saying that I'm not the GCW middleweight champion. I know the truth. They'll all know the truth sooner, before or later.
What is the truth, sir?
I am the middleweight champion. I did not lose my belt. I'm the champion. I am and will forever be the GCW middleweight champion. You take the belt out of my hand, it doesn't mean I'm not the champion. It just means that someone stole my belt. He didn't beat me for the title. All these people keep saying I've lost the belt. I haven't lost the belt. I've got the belt. Everybody's going crazy. They don't understand they don't understand what's going on. I understand. I understand exactly what's going on. It's the same thing that's always been going on. It's the same thing that GCW has been doing to me time and time and time again, over and over. I won the GCW middleweight championship, and I never lost it. But let's look back in history. Let's look at the fact that I was stripped of a title after having... Go ahead, Eddie. I know you're going to want to laugh at this. After I had a transfer, and I missed a show. One show. I missed one show and have a title taken from me. Am I given a rematch for that title? No. I wait years for a rematch. I lose the GCW Heavyweight Championship. Am I given a rematch for that title? No. I wait years for that rematch. And how does GCW finally reward me? After being at every single show, after beating person after person after person in that ring, I'm rewarded with my rematches in one match, in a triple threat match. That's not my one-on-one rematch that I was promised, no. And I had that match won, and that match was thrown out, and I was robbed of what was mine. I lost the GCW title again to Micah Taylor. Months and months I fought to get that belt, and it was taken from me. And still, 2 years later, still no rematch. I did not lose my match with Charles Sanders. He did not beat me. There's no way he could ever beat me. It was an illusion. And how am I rewarded? With being the greatest competitor, not just middleweight. I am the greatest competitor to ever come to GCW. Am I given a chance to punish Charles again? Am I given a chance to show the people that this is all just some ruse? No. I'm given a debut. A debut in GCW of a young, soon-to-be. He's excited. He's soon to be a GCW star. But after several minutes of being in the ring with me, he'll be a never was. This is going to be his debut and his retirement match. I hope his friends, I hope his family, I hope everyone comes out. Because to me, it's a joke. It's another way of getting to me. I think that, as Eddie would like to say, I might underestimate him. I'm not underestimating anyone. If anything, people are underestimating exactly what I can do. I'm underestimating the faith that GCW has in me. Yeah, I am underestimating that because it's non-existent. There's never been any faith in me. Everywhere I go, people cheer, people boo. It doesn't matter. But you know what? They're there to see me. And that's not just an opinion. That's a fact. So, January 28th at the Pell City Civic Center, I hope there's room for everyone that wants to see, what is this, Cole 210, whatever you want to call him. This young boy is going to come out, and he's going to be so excited, and he's going to be living a dream. And I want all his friends. I want his family. I want his second cousins, his cousins' neighbors, his neighbors' neighbors. Bring your dogs. Tie them up outside. Let them peek through the windows. I don't care. Bring them all because they need to be there for this moment because it's going to be the last time they get an opportunity to see him in this ring. GCW wants to push and push and push. It's time to push back. So anything that happens on the 28th, don't blame me. Don't blame me being mad at Charles or my hatred of new guys coming into the ring. No, don't blame that. Blame GCW. Because of them, because of the commission, the committee, the commissioners, everybody that's ever been in power, whether it be one Eddie Layne, whether it be Mad Dog Dan Sawyer, whether it be Bullet Bob Armstrong, Jack Lord. There's been a line of gentlemen that have signed contracts and put me in the ring. And every one of them have done the same thing. It's tried to step on me. So now, it's time I start stepping back. So go ahead, Eddie. Ask me a silly question. Make a silly joke. Enjoy your time on the radio. Enjoy your time behind the stands. Because it's all going to come crashing down sooner or later. And I just want you guys to know that when it does, and everyone at GCW feels their breath leaving them, I want them to know that it's because of my hands squeezing the life out of everything they hold dear. I want them to know it's me. So enjoy this moment. Smell the flowers. Breathe a breath of fresh air.
Actually,
cherish it, Eddie. Go ahead.
Actually,
question.
I do have one question I would like to ask you right now.
Please ask
Whether
me.
it has been in singles competition for the television title, the middleweight title, the heavyweight title, whether it be in tag team action for the tag team championships, whether it be all the way back to the ZWO, the 5-Star Fight Club, the fusion of the 5-Star Fight Club when Dan Sawyer was involved, the Brotherhood. You have, over the course of your run in Global Championship Wrestling, become, in my humble opinion, a one-man dynasty. You've captured every championship there is to capture in Global. Some more than one occasion. What would you consider to be the perfect next step to continue the dynasty that is O'Hagan?
I want it all. I want it all. Every moment, every memory, I want it all. And I'm going to take it all. And it's happening. You don't even know it's happening. It's happening now. You don't feel it? You don't feel that? You don't just sit there and listen with your body. Do you not feel that power that's just surging? I feel it, Eddie. You're going to feel it.
I got to say, as your former tag team partner many times, have you cut Red Bull out of your diet?
That's very funny.
Dude, I have never heard you. This sounds like we're doing an antidepressant commercial. I mean,
you've always got a very funny joke there, Daniel.
This is not a joke. I'm just trying to talk to you, man to man. I mean, this guy's excited about his first match, and he's coming to bring all these people. Yeah, he's going to have the support. He's going to have a lot, but he was trained at the same place that you were. I mean,
he's not me.
No, they broke the mold when they made you. There's no questioning that or your ability. But I've never heard.
Two men can read the same book. One will learn something. One will understand something. Cole might have come through a great school. I give you that. It's a great school. And Cole might have learned a lot coming through your school. But what he doesn't understand, and what I guess a lot of people don't understand, is I've understood what was taught. I've understood everything. And I understand now more than ever what it's going to take for me to finally put to rest any doubts of people. Can you not feel that? It's there.
Now, considering coming out of last month, when you and Charles Anders had a phenomenal match, you and I both agree, and Dan, the three of us do agree, that on any given day, anyone can be beat. We can lay out statistics, we can lay out Vegas odds, we can lay out trends, tendencies, but that's why we fight the fight and have the match and play the game. Because on any given day, anybody can be pinned, submitted, disqualified, counted out, referee stoppage. Any number of things can happen. At the end of that match, when the result occurred, was there any one thing that you felt you could have done differently?
What do you mean, after I pinned him?
Remember, this was a 2 out of 3 fall match.
It was. He never pinned me twice. You're mistaken.
Mad Dog?
I gotta disagree with you. I was commentating the match, and I was just as shocked as you when Charles Anders won. But I was calling the match, and you can hear the intensity and the whatever in my voice. I was totally shocked that you lost.
But I hear a lot of things in your voice, Daniel. I hear a lot of things. I hear a lot of things that other people don't hear. I hear it. I hear your frustration. I understand. You're like Eddie. Eddie makes a lot of jokes. You make a lot of jokes. It's just, you guys are hiding. You're hiding behind your own little mask.
No, we're not hiding behind anything.
You are. And hey, it's okay. I understand. I've been there. I've seen you. Eddie, I've seen you. I've seen you both without these masks on. It's okay. And you want to talk win-loss. That's great. That doesn't make a champion. I am a champion. I am a champion. And I understand you.
You have been a champion. That is true. But you're not right now.
Let me ask you a question, Daniel. Daniel, let me ask you a question. Who beat you for the GCW Heavyweight title?
Which time?
The last time. The last time you won the GCW Heavyweight Championship, what man beat you for your title? Did no man beat you for your title?
No, I had an injury and I relinquished the belt and the tag team belts.
So you've never been beaten for that belt. Does that not make you wonder yourself? Does that not make you wonder? I know that you sit on a committee. I know that you have to still deal with other people. It's not all you. I know that. The frustration of having to deal with others, watching a main event that you're not in for your title. It's frustrating knowing that someone else holds your title when you've never actually really been beat for it, doesn't it? I understand that more than anyone. I hear your frustration and your jokes and your laughter. I understand. I understand more than you think I do. Eddie, I hear your frustration. Time and again, the effort you put into shows, the time that you put into doing everything you do for GCW. I hear that. I hear the frustration. Watching everyone leave the building and you alone loading up sound equipment. As much as you do to try to make these gentlemen look good, sound good, as much as you sing their praises, for them to just walk by at the end of the night not grabbing a bag, not grabbing a table, not grabbing a speaker. I know your frustration. I know your guys' tones. It's there. The anger, the hate. It's there. I feel it.
Well, I'm not trying to interrupt you, but yeah, that last August, I left on a stretcher, and then we came back, and I guess it was in November, and I relinquished the belts and all that stuff. But sometimes in life, we're given lemons, and we have to make lemonade. And you can't just sit there and dwell on the negativity, because it'll eat you up inside. You've got to realize you got to fight for another day. And I'm not saying you're not ready to fight. I know you are. I mean, you've had my back more than a lot of people in this world. And this Saturday night, I mean, you're taking on a young man that did come to the Mad Dog's House of Pain, Cole Sykes. And I've tried to prepare him all I can. But I've never heard such monotone sounds come out of your mouth. And are you sure you're ready for this Saturday night in Pell City, January 28th?
I don't think I've ever been more ready for anything in my entire life. I just don't think anyone is ready for what's to come.
I'm almost speechless for the first time ever on this radio show, because if Eddie didn't tell me it was you calling, I would think it would be somebody doing an impersonation, because I've never heard such, I don't know, it's like an angry NPR. And that's public radio, for those who aren't listening. You didn't know what I was saying. I didn't want you to think I was speaking code.
See, there you are. There's that frustration I talked about, knowing you're smarter than these people, knowing that you're better than them, and you still come out and give a high five and pose for a picture. It's frustrating.
I appreciate the fans. I appreciate them.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate the fans, because without them, there wouldn't be any of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I also know I have to lace up my boots and get ready to get in the ring and perform, because they paid to see me. Whether I've always made right decisions or wrong decisions, I have an obligation. When my name is on a contract and I'm advertised, I'm going to wrestle.
Mm-hmm. Who made it that you couldn't wrestle? Was it me? Was it me who made it that you couldn't wrestle? Or was it me who begged you to bring back the fire that was in your eyes? Was it me who pushed you to the point that you did lace those boots up again? You had all but given up. You were a broken man, ready to sit next to Eddie and call it from the sidelines. It was me. It was me who pushed you to that point. You healed like never before. I dare say you're in better shape now than you've ever been. So think about the motivation that drove you to be where you are. You've got better stamina now. You've got better speed now. You have a clearer mentality now. It wasn't the cheers that brought you back. It wasn't. Think about it. Search your thoughts.
You're trying to get in my head now, so we're going to stop right there. I don't want to think about where I was and what I was doing, but yeah, I am bigger, stronger, faster, and I am in the best shape I've been in a long time. But the fan support helped me. and without that support of the fans and, you know, just everybody, I probably couldn't be back in the ring. And I know what you're trying to do, because you know that I'm not wrestling this Saturday night. I know what you're trying to do. And you know, you almost had me there. So, I mean, I know we're pulling the curtain back. I know what you're trying to do, man. I mean, just please stop, and let's focus this Saturday night, January 28th. We got a big main event for the GCW Heavyweight Championship with 4 men: Dylan Cook, Micah Taylor, Eric Wayne, Francisco Chiazzo. And I'll never forget the message you sent me when Spiral couldn't perform. You said it was kind of swarmy, even though it was a text. I think you meant it in the best way possible, but you're like, you should be the one wrestling in this match. You never lost that belt. So I get where you're going, you know, but I wasn't the one that was decided. There was a tournament. I didn't have a match for that. And, you know, I'm just coming off the tag team loss with on the bull stretcher with Prowler and Mudbone. I mean, I was a tag team wrestler that lost the tag team belts. So, yeah, it gets frustrating. You know, I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, it doesn't bother me. Of course. It bothers me every day. But that motivation, I take that, and I get an extra 2 sets on a rep of bench press. I go for 10 more minutes on the treadmill or elliptical cross trainer. I go an extra half mile on the road. The fire and desire has become more intense, if anything. But yeah, everybody likes to have that gold around their waist, and anyone who tells you any different is a liar, because my dad didn't raise me to be a loser. You know, if you're not in it to win it, shouldn't be in it at all. I never received a participation trophy or a ribbon or anything like that in my life. If you didn't win, you didn't win. You can only blame yourself. But I know what you're trying to pull out here, and I'm just going to step away from the conversation.
Actually,
but January 28th is Saturday night in Tell City. Regeneration is on. It's 2017. It's a new year. And as my granddad used to say, we're coming in hot.
Daniel,
and
do me a favor. Let me do, because I figured this out. I know you. I know Josh. I know the Mad Dog. I know O'Hagan. So I'm going to lay this one out there right now. Mr. O'Hagan, from me to you, not interviewer to interviewee, not affiliate commissioner to in-ring talent, not professional to professional, but man to man. I'm going to ask you this question. Based on what you're saying right now, the way that you're coming across, the mentality, the psychology that you're putting into every word that you're saying, can I safely assume, there's that word, take it for what you will, that we are going to see an O'Hagan this coming Saturday night that gets back to basics, gets back to his originality, that is willing to put everything out there and make Mr. Sykes, unfortunately, wish that he had never stepped into a ring, because he's going to face an O'Hagan with a tenacity and a ferocity that he's not ready for.
When I tell you to come watch him perform, I wasn't lying when I said this very well may be his last time in the ring, because he's going to question himself. He's going to question his ability. And when his body heals, and it will need a very long time to heal, he's going to sit there and wonder, is this what I want to do? Is this what it's like? And you might not ever see him get in that ring again. I'm going to show everyone. I'm going to show them all. And Daniel, I'm going to show you I'm not such a bad guy. I'm not. I do have some compassion. I feel your anger, and I know you just said you lost your tag team competition. And I know that you're a champion as well as I am, and I know that it wasn't your fault. You were, when yourself and Joshua O'Hagan held those tag titles, you had to damn near kill us to take those belts away. It just seemed like there was maybe a weaker link there. I know how frustrating that is to have a weak link. So I'm going to do you a favor Saturday too. I'm going to do something just to make you happy. Just to put a nail in the coffin that was Mad Justice. I'm going to tie up some loose ends for you. And you can thank me later.
I'm not certain what you speak of, but I don't have any loose ends. You lost the match. Mudbone and Prowler are tag team champions currently, world tag team champions. They've got two viable opponents in the Barbarians, Misery and Damien. And, they're putting their belts on the line. They're a lot of talented guys, Violent Gentlemen versus Big K and Jack Gunn, good tag teams. And, hey, Wolves got his plate full that night. He's taking on 6'9", 300-pound Logan Creed, one of the biggest men to be in GCW Pro Wrestling since Luke Gallows was here, since Bull Buchanan was here.
I feel his pain too. He's got it. You've all got the frustration. I see his frustration. He's a big man. He's a powerful, powerful man. And does he get a chance for the heavyweight title? No. He has to wrestle Leon. That's got to be frustrating. To be the biggest and strongest guy coming through and being put against someone who just cost their team tag team titles. Going against just another weak link. There's a lot of frustration.
Mr. O'Hagan, I want to say thank you for taking the time to come on board this evening. This has been a very intriguing discussion, and I will tell you the truth, ladies and gentlemen. These words are the gospel coming out of my mouth right now. I am very intrigued to find out what is going to happen this Saturday night in Pell City at Regeneration.
And I hope you get the feeling better before Saturday, because if you're going to walk around sullen and whatever, I know I'm not in the same locker room as you, but I feel like I've had the energy out of me. I mean, I feel like almost like I couldn't breathe at one point. So I'm like, what's going on, man? I mean, even though we had Eric Wayne and he was griping and complaining the first 15 minutes of the show, I mean, I didn't even know that you were on the show tonight. I mean, I'm glad you're here. I mean, people like you. I mean, entertaining wrestler.
And people respect you.
Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. See, I can't even think.
Well, tell you what, do me a favor. Let me go ahead and let's take us to a quick commercial break. Folks, we'll be back on GCW Radio right after this. That had to be the most unique experience that I have around O'Hagan in forever and a day. And to go one better, unfortunately, our Skype system crashed just a minute ago, so I actually lost both Mad Dog and O'Hagan. And I don't know. Welcome back into GCW Radio. Tuesday night, this is the 24th day of January. It is 24 minutes after the 9 o'clock hour in the Central Time Zone. I am GCW announce team member Fast Eddie Layne. Originally was slated to also be joined by the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, on this episode of GCW Radio. But I want to remind everybody, I'm listening up and down the Beyond Ringside Radio Network and ProWrestlingRadio.net. The To Be Determined show kicks off in 23 hours and 36 minutes, or 35 minutes, give or take a couple. That's going to be 9 p.m. Central Time, 10 p.m. Eastern. Wick, Angie, yours truly, and God only knows what's going to happen tomorrow night. Coming off what happened this past Saturday night at Peach State and going into this coming Saturday night, Regeneration 2017. It's going to be a great night to kick off the 2017 season for Global Championship Wrestling. I want to go ahead and run this down real quick. You've already had a chance to hear, last week we heard from Francisco Chiazzo. This week you heard from another former champion, or the previous champion, Eric Wayne. Of course, once again, you've got a one-fall elimination fatal four-way match for the vacant GCW Heavyweight Championship as Dylan Cook, Francisco Chiazzo, Eric Wayne, and Micah Taylor all vie for that title. Who will be the next GCW Heavyweight Champion? Believe it, a new champion will be crowned this Saturday night. Also in one-on-one action for the Middleweight Championship, the brand new champion, Charles Zanders, or Xanders, however you'd like to call him, defends against P-Dog Mike Posey. This is going to be a don't blink match, kids. I guarantee you that one. From that vantage point, once again, the tag team championships are on the line. Mudbone, Night Prowler, part of the vanguard of GCW. You can say they've been a part of a number of different factions, but I will sit back and say this. Dangerous ain't just, that's not the word for it. Dangerous, devastating, all of the above, and a whole bunch of more words I'm not going to use right now. Seriously. They will be taking on the combination known as the Barbarians, Misery, and Damien. Looking forward to this match. Very intriguing matchup, and I know I use that word quite often when it comes down to it, but remember, for as long as I've had the privilege of being a part of this industry, I'm still very much a fan of professional wrestling, and I'm a huge fan of tag team wrestling. So this match this coming Saturday night, I'm really looking forward to it. Another tag team challenge match, or a challenge match in the tag team division. The World Bearer, Scott Morgan. The Irredeemable, Aiden Andrews. Known as the Violent Gentleman. Managed by the Oracle of Ominous, the Necessary Evil, the Wicked Nemesis. Taking on the combination of Big K Helms and the Cowboy Jack Gunn. Last week, Wick promised carnage from the Violent Gentleman. They said that Gunn and Holmes had better be ready because he will unleash the gentleman this Saturday night in Pell City, Regeneration 2017. Leon the Bull Stresser in singles action this coming Saturday night against another big man who has been called the Extinction Level Event, Logan Creed. And you just heard him a couple of minutes ago, former GCW middleweight champion, the man who has completed the home run in the company, who has held every championship that has been offered on the table by GCW, Mr. O'Hagan, taking on a young gentleman who will be debuting in Global this Saturday night in the form of Mr. Cole Sykes. Also slated to appear, of course, more. And there will be some surprises this Saturday night. How many? I can only tell you so far. The Kryptonite Killer, Michael Steele, will be there. Try saying that 3 times fast. It doesn't always work. Also, Joey Lightning slated to be there. Friends, of course, our award-winning security team will be in full force this coming Saturday night, and cameras will be rolling. Bring your t-shirts, posters, banners, all of the above. Bring yourself ready to have fun, and the cameras could be aimed at you for our GCW ITV taping. You know, senior official Bernie Kowanowitz will be in full force this coming Saturday night, and he's going to be ready to call it straight down the middle. And, of course, the announced team in play, looking forward to the return of Whitney Lee. I'll be on stage alongside of the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, and we'll be doing commentary for the majority of the night, with the exception of the Violent Gentleman's tag team match. Tickets are only $10 each, and they are definitely available. Remember, and I forgot to check earlier today when I had the opportunity. That's my fault. But while they last, You can still reserve ringside seats by sending an email to GCW Media. That is GCW Media at yahoo.com. It's that easy, kids. Please have the email to us by Friday, the 27th, 12 noon. Anything past that, we cannot guarantee. I'm sorry. But the ticket demand has already been very high from the last time I spoke late last week. I forgot. I was hoping to be able to get the exact numbers, but time slipped away from me this afternoon before I had a chance to. But like I said, while they last, and I don't know the overall condition right now as far as ringside seating goes, GCW Media at yahoo.com. Do not send them on Facebook. I'm sorry. And if you, our Facebook fan pages, our Twitter feed, and our Instagram feed do not accept reservations for seating. I'm sorry, they don't. The owner, the front office, monitors the email address on a daily basis. We don't always monitor the Facebook sites and the Twitter site on a daily basis. I think that's evident. So please don't try to send a Facebook message. Well, I sent you Facebook. No. Use the email, please. Also, once again, it's going to be a great lineup. It's going to be a great time. 2016 was another banner year for Global Championship Wrestling. And on behalf of everyone with Global, in the office, in the locker room, in the ring, our camera team, concessions, our front door, all of the above, thank you. Thank you to everybody who came to join us throughout calendar year 2016 for Global Championship Wrestling. We had some great events throughout the course of the year. And we're looking forward to an even bigger 2017. It's going to be a great time this Saturday night. And I know there's quite a few ways you can spend your free money. I know that. Disposable income is a weird thing in this day and age. Hopefully it's going to start picking up a little bit more as far as the disposable income goes. We know you have choices. So for everyone who comes through that door, believe it, you are appreciated. And we thank you so much. And we look forward to seeing everybody this coming Saturday night. Once again, bring your T-shirts, posters, banners, signs, all of the above. Cameras are going to be rolling. We'll be set and ready to call the action from the stage. And everybody is set and ready to light it up and tear the roof off of the Pell City Civic Center this Saturday night. Brand new poster is going to be going up in just a couple of minutes. We were hoping to have a Facebook event page ready to go, but that unfortunately didn't work, so we may still try to get one up there. Also, from that vantage point, if you use Snapchat, this Saturday night, we will have a Snapchat filter at the Pell City Civic Center in and around the immediate area for Regeneration 2017. So for our friends on social media, at GCW Pro Wrestling on Instagram and on Twitter, we do not have a direct GCW Snapchat feed at this point in time. That may change. We don't know yet. YouTube.com/user/GCW Pro Wrestling. Facebook.com/GCW Pro Wrestling. That is our primary fan page. Please make sure to like that one if you haven't already. Believe it or not, there are 3 up there, not including GCW photos. But all 4 of those are actually owned by Global Championship Wrestling. Anything other than the 4, I will make a note and put that on Facebook.com/GCW Pro Wrestling. I'll make sure to get that put in place so that way you know which ones you're actually having communication with. So, from that point, to the first class, second and third generation superstar, Eric Wayne, thank you for coming on board this evening. To Mr. O'Hagan, thank you for coming on board this evening. To my tag team partner, the Mad Dog Dan Sawyer, always a pleasure, my friends. Want to say real quick, the live programming will resume here on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network Wednesday, the 25th of January, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central, for the To Be Determined show. The Shooters Gallery Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central. And the anniversary episode, Beyond Ringside Live, this Sunday, January the 28th, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 Central. I don't care what time WWE is starting their pre-show. We're going to have some fun right here on the radio before that kicks off. And I'm not going to say anything totally shameless before I get out of here. I will say, first off, This Saturday night, January 27th, there's a reason why I specify that date. Drop by and say hi. Buffalo Wild Wings in Alabaster, 9 p.m. start time. I will be your humble host for Friday night karaoke. No, don't bring cake. No, don't bring presents. Just drop down, say hi, sing a song. Let's have some fun. Yes, I'm being shameless. This Friday is my birthday. Haha. And I didn't get a chance, even though I said it last week, I was going to rib him one more time. Mad Dog Dan Sawyer celebrated his birthday just a couple of weeks ago. And also, GCW legend, if I can use that term, and I do believe I can, the Machine Gruff Grayson celebrated his birthday late last week. So, Guff, congratulations. Happy birthday, my friends. Folks, if you got a special occasion going on, be sure to let us know about it. Love to make a mention and spread the word. Going to call it a broadcast day. Thank you for joining us. We hope you've enjoyed the show, and we genuinely look forward to seeing everybody this Saturday night. GCW Regeneration 2017 at the Pell City Civic Center. Once again, for my tag team partner, Mad Dog Dan Sawyer, for Eric Wayne and Mr. O'Hagan, I am Fast Eddie Layne, saying join us next time as we go ringside and beyond with Global Championship Wrestling. Bye for now.